Rome, 100 AD. 1 million souls packed into the greatest city the world has ever seen. For one day we step back 19 centuries to walk its streets. This is the Forum Romanum, the beating heart of an empire that stretched from Britain to Egypt, from Spain to Syria. But before emperors and gladiators, before temples and triumphs, the day begins like any other, with ordinary Romans waking to face another day in the eternal city. Today there are games at the Colosseum. Blood will be spilled. Fortunes won and lost. Heroes will be made. But first the gods must be honored. For in Rome, nothing happens without the blessing of Jupiter, Juno, and Mars. Most Romans don't live in marble villas. They rent cramped apartments in insulae, towering tenement blocks that house the city's working class. The city wakes to the smell of bread. Public bakeries fire their ovens before dawn, preparing thousands of loaves for Rome's hungry masses. Water is life. Every neighborhood has public fountains fed by Rome's 11 aqueducts, bringing fresh water from mountains 40 miles away. For the wealthy patricians, mourning means preparation. A Roman senator's toga requires precise folding, a symbol of his status and dignity. By the third hour, the Forum explodes with activity. This is where Rome does business: lawsuits, contracts, political deals, and scandals. Wealthy children attend school, learning rhetoric and philosophy. But education is a privilege. Most Roman children will never learn to read. The Temple of Jupiter dominates the Capitoline Hill. Here, Rome's priests read omens in the entrails of sacrificed animals, seeking the will of the gods. Rome's power rests on the legions. 28 legions guard the empire's borders, 150,000 professional soldiers, the most feared army on earth. Every day, hundreds of ships dock at Rome's ports. Grain from Egypt, wine from Gaul, olive oil from Spain. The wealth of 3 continents flows into the city. Trajan's Market is the world's first shopping mall. 5 levels of shops offer everything a Roman could desire, from British tin to Chinese silk. Romans have no shame about bodily functions. Public latrines are social spaces where men discuss politics while attending to nature's call. Most apartments have no kitchens. Romans eat out, grabbing quick meals at Thermopolia, the ancient version of fast food restaurants. Rome's prosperity is built on slavery. 1 in 3 residents is enslaved, captured in war, born into bondage, or sold to pay debts. In the gladiatorial schools, fighters prepare for the arena. Most are slaves or criminals, fighting for survival and the slim hope of freedom. Beauty in Rome is painful. Women coat their faces with toxic lead paint and rouge made from mercury. Many will die young from cosmetic poisoning. The Senate still meets, though its power has faded. Under Emperor Trajan, senators debate, but the emperor alone decides Rome's fate. Above the Forum, the imperial palace sprawls across Palatine Hill. Here, Emperor Trajan rules an empire of 60 million souls. For Roman children, life is brief and precious. Half will not survive to adulthood. But today they play without knowing tomorrow's fate. Basilicas provide shelter for commerce and law. These magnificent halls will later inspire Christian cathedrals, but today they serve mammon, not God. Rome's aqueducts are engineering miracles, some over 50 miles long, delivering 300 gallons of water per person daily. No city will match this for 1,000 years. Entertainment fills the streets. Musicians, acrobats, and fortune-tellers compete for coins. Rome never sleeps, never stays silent. Fire is Rome's greatest terror. The vigiles patrol day and night, but in a city built of wood and oil lamps, disaster is always one spark away. Roman medicine mixes Greek science with magic and prayer. Surgeons can amputate limbs, but they also prescribe crushed mouse droppings for toothaches. Rome is always building. New temples, new forums, new monuments. The city devours marble faster than quarries can supply it. As the 6th hour approaches, the city slows. The hottest part of the day brings a lull, time for the main meal and rest. But soon the games will begin. The baths are Rome's true equalizer. Here patrician and plebeian bathe side by side, though slaves work while citizens relax. The caldarium's hot water is heated by furnaces below the floor. Roman hypocaust technology creates perfect climate control, lost for centuries after Rome falls. In the Paelstra, men exercise naked as Greeks did. Romans admire Greek culture, copying their athletics, philosophy, and art. The finest baths include libraries. Romans value literature, copying Greek classics, writing new histories, preserving knowledge that will survive empire's fall. Slaves provide every service. Massage, hair removal, manicures. The wealthy Romans spend hours on personal grooming, following strict beauty rituals. The barber shop buzzes with gossip. Here men learn political news, hear scandals, and sometimes leave with serious cuts from dull bronze razors. Romans eat lightly at midday: bread, cheese, olives, fish sauce. The main meal comes later after the baths and games. Gambling is officially illegal but universally practiced. Romans bet on dice, knucklebones, and board games, losing fortunes on rolls of chance. Women bathe at different hours, but their baths are equally social. Here, marriages are arranged, alliances formed, and secrets shared. As afternoon approaches, Romans dress for the games. To attend the Colosseum is to see and be seen, a crucial social obligation. 50,000 people converge on the Colosseum. Rich and poor, free and slave, all eager for blood, sport, and spectacle. Entry is free, but seating reflects status. Senators sit closest to action. Women and slaves watch from the highest, cheapest seats. The games are business. Vendors sell programs listing gladiators' names and records. Fortunes change hands in bets on outcomes. Beneath the arena floor lies the hypogeum, a maze of tunnels where wild beasts pace and condemned men await death. The emperor arrives. 50,000 voices roar approval. Trajan raises his hand and the games begin. The morning starts with animal hunts. Lions from Africa. Bears from Germania. Tigers from the east. Rome's dominion over nature performed as entertainment. The crowd roars as predator meets prey. Some hunters are slaves promised freedom. Most will die for Rome's amusement. At noon comes justice, executions of criminals and prisoners. The crowd eats lunch during this interval, barely watching condemned men die. The afternoon brings what crowds truly crave, gladiatorial combat. Trained warriors fighting for glory, survival, and crowds' favor. Gladiators are athletes and celebrities. Some fight for freedom. Others for fortune and fame. The best become superstars adored by Rome. A gladiator falls. The crowd decides, thumbs up for mercy, thumbs down for death. The emperor has final say. Today he shows mercy. The crowd cheers. Victory brings glory. Palm branches. Prize money. Women throw flowers. For this moment, a slave becomes more beloved than senators. Some games feature naval battles. The arena floods, ships clash, and ancient victories are reenacted. Rome's engineering makes fantasy real. Sailors operate a massive awning to shade spectators. Even entertainment infrastructure demonstrates Roman engineering genius. As sun lowers, the games end. Thousands stream out, arguing about fights witnessed, morning lost bets, planning tomorrow's entertainment. Evening brings the cena, the main meal. The wealthy recline on couches, eating elaborate dishes while slaves serve course after course. Wealthy Romans feast on delicacies from across the empire. The menu displays their wealth, exotic ingredients from distant provinces. Dinner includes entertainment. Greek slaves perform music and poetry. Romans consider themselves cultured conquerors, appreciating art while ruling with iron. After eating, men discuss philosophy, Stoicism's virtue versus Epicurus' pleasure. These aren't idle thoughts, but guides for living in uncertain empire. Most Romans eat far simpler meals. Bread. Porridge. Cheap wine. The feast happens once a year if at all. Taverns fill after dark. Here, working Romans drink cheap wine, gamble, and visit prostitutes. This Rome rarely appears in history books. Theaters offer alternative entertainment. Comedies mock politicians. Tragedies explore fate and gods. Romans inherited Greek theater and made it their own. Night brings danger. The vigiles patrol with torches, watching for fires and thieves. Rome after dark belongs to those brave or desperate enough to risk it. Love and lust respect no laws. Married women risk everything for secret affairs. Penalties are severe, but passion often proves stronger than fear. Before sleep, Romans honor their household gods. Small offerings, brief prayers. Even skeptics hedge their bets with divine powers. Children sleep dreaming of becoming senators or gladiators. Most will never achieve such dreams, but tonight anything seems possible. In quiet rooms, scholars copy manuscripts. They don't know they're preserving texts that will survive Rome's fall, keeping civilization alive through dark ages. The Suburra never sleeps. Rome's red light district serves all classes. Sex is commerce like any other, taxed and regulated by the state. Couriers arrive throughout the night, bringing news from empire's edges. Victories. Rebellions. Disasters. Rome must know everything to control everything. The Praetorian Guard never sleeps. They've made and unmade emperors. Their loyalty is bought with gold and their swords keep the peace, or bring civil war. Astrologers read the stars, claiming to see the future. Romans from slave to emperor consult them, desperate to know what fate holds. Disease strikes without warning. Doctors try their best, priests pray, families hope. In Rome, death is always near, especially for the young and poor. In secret places, a new religion grows. Christians meet in shadows, worshipping a crucified God. Rome doesn't yet know this faith will conquer the empire. The Forum sleeps. Tomorrow it will roar with business and politics again. But tonight moonlight turns marble temples into silver dreams. Families sleep protected by their household gods. Another day survived in the greatest, most dangerous, most magnificent city ever built. One day among thousands. 1 million lives intersecting, struggling, loving, dying in this crowded miracle of marble and mud. Tomorrow it all happens again. The bakers will fire ovens. The Forum will fill. The games will run. Rome grinds on, eternal and unstoppable, or so they thought. Within centuries, barbarians will sack these temples. The aqueducts will crumble. The empire will fall, but Rome's legacy survives. Our laws, language, architecture, engineering, all bear Rome's stamp. 2,000 years later, we still walk their streets. For one day we walked with Romans. We saw their glory and cruelty, their genius and folly. They were not so different from us. And we are not so different from them.